Uruha Rushia,
Senpai,
Uruha Rushia,
who has now been
termination from Hololive.
Russia's fans
got lost in the Parasocial sauce.
Cover Corp, the management behind Hololive,
tweeted notice regarding termination of our contract with
Uruha Rushia.
She never held a graduation stream.
Since her debut in 2020, Uruha Rushia has been one of the most talked about VTuber of the last few years. Either absolutely adored
Praise me.
or absolutely loved,
大嫌い
she has been one of the most controversial figure of her time. Many siding with or against her, her career has been riddled with ups and downs since the very start, and to this day continues being controversial. In many ways, she's popularized many aspects of VTubing that we see today, and she's still solidly holding her top spot as the most super chatted VTuber of all time, and she hasn't worked as Uruha Rushia for over a year. Her story will forever be etched in VTuber history as having one of the most climatic and dramatic ending. Everyone remembered the day Rushia was terminated, and for most people, her story served as a cautionary tale. And that's why in today's video, we're going to get to the bottom of it. Starting from the very beginning to her after Holo arc, we'll look into everything so you can make your own opinion. As a little side note, her past life / present lives are no secret, and that's why we will talk about them in this video. And she wants people to go to her channel. If you already know her origin story, feel free to skip to the later parts of the video as we've divided the video by chapters. And for those who intend to stick around, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more VTuber deep dives and video essays. We've also recently opened up a channel membership, so consider dropping a membership to support your favorite channel and have your name displayed at the end of my next video. Now, back to the story. Uruha Rushia got picked up by Hololive 3rd generation GP branch as a cute little necromancer girl. She debuts on July 18th, 2019, right before a global pandemic that would greatly affect the course of her career. And while most businesses suffered during that time, the internet economy was thriving. Her soft-spoken voice,
今からここのマップに行きます
mixed with her sudden bursts of outrage or meltdowns,
ふわふわる
captured the heart of many as being their perfect Manhara or Yandere waifu. And so by the end of the very same year, Rushia had already gained over 100k subscribers on her channel. And that was at a time where VTubers were nowhere near as mainstream as they are today. Nowadays, everybody has a VTuber model. But back then, VTubers were more niche, but were still getting a lot of hype and were especially gaining a lot of traction at the time. So much in fact that by the end of 2020, VTuber views had already skyrocketed to 1.5 billion views. Some things in this world are inexplicable, much more so when a series of completely unrelated and random events somehow come together in such a peculiar way that they somehow end up altering the course of someone's life. That's what Uruha Rushia experienced, a VTuber who became a star and an icon thanks to a combination of elements. The pandemic, the VTuber craze sparked by Kizuna Ai, the worldwide expansion of VTuber agencies, and her own remarkable personality all played a part in her achievement. Rushia is an extremely, and I can't stress this enough, extremely talented voice actress, capable of playing up a part if she feels like her audience is responding to it. She became notorious for her unique high-pitched voice and expression that contrasted with her loud screams when she got angry or scared.
次来たらガチで願うわあれよしいいねいいねみんなほらいっぱい明日こう犬のペッタンが来るうるせえ
Now for you guys to understand what happens next, I need to really stress this part out. Rushia was incredibly good at pandering to her gachikoi fans and providing a yandere girlfriend experience. A gachikoi is a slang term for a fan who is seriously in love with an idol, a celebrity, or a fictional character. These fans often have unrealistic expectations and fantasies about their crushes, and may spend a lot of money and time to support them. This differs from fans who support their idol financially, but are not in love with them. A GFE, or girlfriend experience, is what Rushia was known for. It's originally a term employed by sex workers and is considered a sex service that blurs the boundaries between a financial transaction and a romantic relationship. If the sex worker is male, the service is then called a boyfriend experience. In some places of the world, you can even rent a girlfriend or a boyfriend for a day. But as interesting as this subject is, we don't have time to get into that in this video. In the context of VTubers, a girlfriend experience is most commonly provided in the form of regular roleplay or roleplay ASMR, where the talent roleplays as some kind of girlfriend or boyfriend. And Rushia pandered to her fanbase by playing into the Menhera girlfriend role, and just plain acting yandere on stream.
君悪い子だな。大丈夫？もう言わない？静かにしな。わかったね。
Acting usually overly attached, jealous, and possessive to allure the kind of fans that feel the need to protect her or fix her.
みんな！なんでルシアより他の女のことかばってるの？もっとルシアのこと見てよ。ルシアしか見えないって言ってよ。
Now, why is this kind of mentally ill and fragile persona so popular among her fans? Well, first of all, because while she did it, she was cute as hell, but also it speaks to those fans' savior complex that feel a strong urge to make her happy and protect her. We live in an era of loneliness, and it makes them feel valuable, seen, and loved when they donate to their favorite fragile waifu.
リシアちゃん、家のスポチャ Thank you, 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 thank you.
More so, that type of behavior is often encouraged in VTubing spaces.
I want you to scream for me. Is this all you can do for me?
And donating, especially large amounts, is usually cheered on and appreciated not just by the creator, but by their peers. And boy, did they donate. During her 3-year tenure, Uruha Rushia managed to become the most super chatted streamer of all time, breaking records in 2022 with her shattering 1.6 million revenue in super chats alone, a record she still owns to this day. However, everything changed on February 9th, 2022, when Rushia accidentally leaked a Discord message on her stream that revealed that she was friends with Mafumafu, a famous Japanese singer and producer. The message said that he was heading home. "I'm finished with my streams and I'm getting ready to come home, Mi-chan," which some people interpreted as him living with Rushia or being in a relationship with her. This sparked a huge backlash from some of her fans and aunties, who accused her of lying about being single and cheating on them. They also harassed and threatened both Rushia and Mafumafu online, spreading rumors and false information about them. Heartbroken fans flocked the internet to show their broken Uruha Rushia paraphilia and merch, now destroyed. Mafumafu quickly took to the internet to respond to the situation, apologizing for causing misunderstandings and clarifying that he was just friends with Rushia and did not live with her. He also asked people to respect their privacy and stop spreading lies. However, this did not stop the hate and abuse from continuing, as some people refused to believe him or even accept his apology. It's important to note here that Mafumafu also has a hugely parasocial fan base and is an extremely popular singer.
みんな結構さ、なんか多分マフマフの視聴者さんって女性が多いっていう印象が多いと思うんですよ。ここにいるコメントしてくれてる人もさ、女の子の名前の人多いじゃん。
And if you guys don't know what a parasocial fan is, I recommend watching my video on parasocial relationships that I'll leave in the description below. Parasocial relations are a one-way relationship where one party isn't aware of the other party's existence. The idol culture thrives on parasocial relationships, and by packaging its streamers as idols, Hololive attached itself to the expectations of idol culture. Japanese idols have long held the image of being pure and untouchable. This leads to the expectation of them staying single and available to their fans. And let's just say that some of his female fans make their VTuber fans look mild.
マフ君放送でみーちゃんと呼ぶ他のメンバーはどこの女だと茶化すそれについてマフアスさんのファンはどう思ってんの？
その話は本当に
さっき約束したもんね、ごめんね。でもこれ2人付き合ってたらどうすんの？
静かに消えようと思って
だからその死ぬっていうのは違うよ。
ごめん。
死ぬっていうのは違うよ。
In the past, Mafu's fanbase had already linked Rushia and Mafumafu together before she even started in Hololive, comparing items from both his and Rushia's household to try to find proof that they lived together. Mafu back then laughed it off, but now that this was all coming out again, needless to say, his fans were pretty pissed off. Rushia also tried to apologize and explain herself on Twitter, but she was clearly distraught and depressed by the whole ordeal. And in a one now deleted post, she says, "I can't can't eat, I can't sleep, I have trouble walking, there are so many terrible falsehoods that I want to do right now, which made some people speculate that she was being silenced or even pressured by Hololive. But the drama didn't stop here. The problem was that that fateful leak happened on the start of a long weekend in Japan, so Rushia had at the time little to no support from her management. She felt the need to speak up and quell the rumors, and that's when she made the fatal mistake that would end up costing her career. She decides to contact a famous gossip channel, Korekore, who's some kind of Japanese Keemstar. Him being a longtime friend of Rushia, they thought it would be a good idea that he would go on to speak on her behalf on his platform. He provided pictures of Rushia's room to prove that she was not living with Mafumafu, and that they were in fact simply casual Apex teammates that played from time to time. Additionally, he had screenshots of Rushia talking to her manager to prove that he wasn't making this up and that he was in fact in contact with the young actress. Needless to say, going to talk to an internet professional gossiper wasn't the smartest move. This only fueled the flames of speculations, and worst of all, during the stream, Korekore slipped and ended up linking her Rushia character to her past life character, Mikeneko. This led Rushia to spiral down. On February 14th, she tweeted that she would address the situation again once she's calmed down in her body and mind. And then on February 19th, a distressed Rushia would go on her alt account, Mikeneko, to stream a tearful goodbye. A few days later came the final blow. Hololive announced that they had terminated their contract with Rushia, effective immediately. They said that Rushia had violated her contract by leaking confidential information and spreading false rumors to third parties, causing damage to the company's reputation and trust. They also said that it had become difficult to manage and support Rushia, and that they would take measures to prevent similar incidents from happening again. Rushia's sudden departure shocked and saddened many of her fans and fellow streamers, who expressed their gratitude and support for her on her social media.
実際ちょっとちょびっと暗い話になっちゃうけど、ルーちゃんがいなくなってちょっと3期生大丈夫かなとか、これから実際これから大丈夫なのかなとか、心のどっかですごいあって。
I even remember Hololive gathering their remaining VTubers together to reassure people. However, some fans also criticized Rushia for her actions and questioned her honesty and integrity. Even more so after a leaked message showed Rushia proclaiming, "I will ruin them all." This leak made her lose the support of some of the Hololive fandom, who viewed her as a careless blabber and a vengeful traitor who threatened the rest of the Holo members. Rushia would later go on to debunk this whole claim and say that she never was referring to her former gen mates and has only love for her ex-colleagues. But by then, general public opinion, especially on the overseas side, had shifted. People felt that she didn't play by the rules and that she had gotten what she deserved. That would be a stigma that would plague her for the rest of her career. Rushia did not have a chance to say goodbye to her fans or colleagues, as her YouTube channels and memberships were closed down shortly after the announcement. Her birthday merchandise, which was planned to be released in January 2022, was also immediately cancelled and refunded. Rushia's termination from Hololive was a tragic and controversial event that marked the end of an era for one of the most successful and beloved VTuber in history. It was over for the character Rushia Uruha, but not the actress behind her. On April 24th, Rushia rejoined with her old persona, Mikeneko, and debuted once again. And on July 16th of the same year, she debuts under the character Nazuna with a VTubing agency called VShoujo. Both of the debuts were a success and managed to get Mikeneko, Rushia, Nazuna, heck, this is getting way too confusing, the voice actress, most of her old following. Both debuts, in fact, gathered over 30,000 fans. Today, Mikeneko has over 888k subs to her old channel that is sitting at 1.420 millions. There was some good streams and good moments created on both of these accounts.
Not pet.
You have chosen death.
何ノットペッタンってちょっと待って、何そのスタンプ、もしかして誰だこんなスタンプ
sometimes Mikeneko would slip up and call herself Nazuna.
そうですねみんな謎の4万いやなんか転送費と
But it seems she gradually started caring less and less about her Nazuna character and seemed to prefer her Mikeneko channel. Whether it be for financial reasons, because that channel is performing a lot better than the Nazuna one, so it could be grossing more revenue, but it could also be for the fact that she simply prefers her Mikeneko persona.
お前らを許さない
After a while, it felt like Rushia was able to finally move on from the whole incident and put the past behind her once and for all. Or was she? Because on January 2023, she debuts her second model.
こんにちは緊張するこんにちは
Her second model was illustrated and conceptualized by the artist Yasuyuki, the same artist that had designed Rushia. It seemed wherever she went, controversy would follow, as she had developed by then a sizable group of antis. Some of them going as far as posing as Mikeneko in order to scam accounts in Genshin Impact. This event sparked some discussion in her fanbase about her having to take accountability and step up in her role as a leadership in order to keep her community safe. And then there was a controversy between her and the VTuber Delutaya. To give a brief summary, Mikeneko and Delutaya are two virtual YouTubers who've had feud over rumors and slanders. Mikeneko accused Delutaya of spreading lies about her to a gossip streamer. Delutaya then denies it and said that she heard those rumors from her former manager. Mikeneko then blocked Delutaya on Twitter and told her to talk to her lawyer. Delutaya then threatened legal actions against Mikeneko on her fanbox account. They both since then have went on to post their own recollections of this event. This drama is still unsettled to this day and has greatly divided their fans. More recently, in August 2023, Mikeneko announces that she will participate in an Apex tournament that involves both VTubers and content creators alike. And who are her teammates, you might ask? Two male VTubers. Rushia, baby gal. When are we gonna learn? The post itself ends up getting tons of backlash. And, plot twist, just a few hours before the tourney, the official Apex account makes an announcement saying a team will get DQ'd due to operational reasons. Shortly after, Mikeneko goes live on stream with her two male teammates to share their side of the story, where she plays up, well, I believe she's playing it up, a whole Menhera meltdown.
What? なんでですか
出たかったよね。
出たよ出たに決まってんですだって私はサブアカでもさ楽しみでさ嬉しいなってさ私が何したってんだ
Which is exactly what they needed for this. From the outside, her stream felt like a success. But from the inside, her Parasocial fanbase were having a complete total meltdown. Many of them claiming to leave, and that they had enough with Rushia's lies and fake promises. Dude literally said two men's at once. I'm crying. A lot of her fans feel disappointed in her, along with the trust issues that they have been piling up. Rushia had been making promises to them that she wouldn't be playing with male VTubers, and this was the proof in their eyes that she had once again lied. And at the time of filming this video, which is August 23, it seems that Mikeneko's management has just posted on her account announcing a hiatus so she can recover and get well soon. From what I gathered online, the general sentiment from her Gachikoi and Unicorn fans is that they dislike Apex because it's a game that brings her mood down, that is not good for her career, and also that it's a game that's highly considered a dating game for the Eastern audience. In the end, they feel frustrated that she's not listening to their advice to put the goddamn game down. Indeed, Apex is a competitive game. Those kind of games can be tilting, tiring, and extremely serious. Everything that is not particularly welcomed in the VTubing world. On top of that, it has a player base of like 95% male. Can you imagine? That means she'll constantly be surrounded by tons and tons of dudes. Tons of dudes. Now, Rushia has two choices. Either accept who she is and not make false promises that she cannot keep to her fans, or keep the loyal, wholesome fans and get rid of the gotchis and then do whatever the hell she wants. Or she can keep engaging with them but then live a limited, idol-like lifestyle. The thing is, when people come to expect something from you, they're not gonna be surprised when you act that way. They're only gonna be surprised if you've been presenting an alternative image to what their perception of yourself might be. I'm gonna take an example that's probably not the best, but I think you guys will understand. Take for example, Dr. Disrespect. When it came out that he had cheated on his wife, no one cared, because as bad as that sounds, that's what we had come to expect of him. There's also a whole discussion to be had about, do you want to separate the art from the artist? Rushia is a voice actress that is playing a character that she can take off every time she turns off the camera. We don't actually know how much of herself Rushia actually displays on stream. Her personality might be actually close to what she's portraying, or it could be totally made up. It could also be that her personality is somewhat like this, but the anonymity of the internet has permitted her to express herself, just like many of us sitting behind a computer screen, in a way that she wouldn't have in real life. One thing to consider is, I think it's important to remember that everyone involved in those stories are human. And instead of passing judgment on the situation and on the fan or the creator, I think we should take the time to reflect on even how we got there as an internet culture as a whole, and what do we want from our creators and fans alike in the future? How far is this gonna go? Whether you think corporations or creators are exploiting and preying on these young people, or whereas the fault lies in the audience expectation, it's really easy to judge those gachikois and unicorn fans. But please remember that everyone involved in this scenario is simply human. For me, this is more symptomatic of a bigger problem. A generation of very lonely young men who are also hurting, but also who don't know how to love someone properly. A lot of aspects of these relationships are similar to very abusive relationships. Over jealousy, the desire to isolate someone from certain people, possessiveness, and the big emotional outbursts that come with it, whether they be positive or negative. All of these traits are frowned upon because they're usually the warning signs of a toxic relationship. It's either that, or they see these idols simply as product, and now they feel like their product is being defective because they can't self-insert in the made-up story they paid for. One thing I will add on this subject is that we can't know for sure how many of these toxic posts are written by her fans and how many are written by aunties who are there simply to stir the pot. That's definitely a theory worth entertaining. But still, it was pretty disconcerting for me to read how some of those fans would compare her to a dog, or how some people claim that they paid her to do something so she should simply do it. So for those people, let me just reiterate something. A tip or donation is simply that, an extra to say thank you, I appreciate your content. And in no way, shape or form does a tip or donation gives you the right to control someone's life or to expect something beyond the content that they have already provided to you. Like, imagine if this could be true. For as little as $5 a month, you'd get to decide someone's relationship status. That'd be some insane life hacks. Because even in real life scenarios, paying or providing for someone does not give you the ownership of them. I think with Rushia, something's gotta give, or when something does give, again, it's not gonna be pretty. And on that note, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm so exhausted after this huge video. These videos are really taxing to make and extremely resource intensive, so consider supporting the channel with a membership sub, or simply a normal sub and a comment would suffice. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bao bao! Rushia is an extremely, and I can't stress this enough, extremely talented voice actress.
ルーちゃんとは今でも会ってんのっておい気になるこういうのってそう連絡先をさ知らないペコだからバイバイしてからはもう関わりがなくなってる。てか普通にディスコしか知らんくね。申し訳ないペコだけどペコーラ他のフロメンもディスコしか知らないよ。チャット打つのも通話するのもいやディスコでええやんと。やめてよそのあとかあとかやめてよ。外に行ったって携帯でディスコ見れる時代ですよ。もうディズニーでどうしてたの？あディスコです